Let's unmute the microphone, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Next game going to be Tuark versus the Hot Dog Burglars. I'm personally, I don't know much about this team, but I'm already a fan due to the name. The battleground is going to be Cursed Hollow, and Tassadar being banned out from the get-go. No Li Ming ban, no Zul ban. The Tassadar ban here, Zoya.
Yeah, looking like they want to deny the vision. Good lane presence as well. We're going to go ahead and respond with a Zul ban. Really surprised if we see Zul too much. He is just so good. Tuark going to go with that first pick, Li Ming. No surprise, her damage is insane.
Yeah.
Still, even with the nerf of the siege, she still has great siege as well.
Yeah. It's she's just so strong, high mobility. It's just I absolutely love the addition of the hero. I think it was something that was sorely needed, and I'm glad to see her being picked up here. Next for Hot Dog Burglars, sort of the next choice they can go with a first pick Zeratul into Rhaegar. Is this a direct response to the Li Ming here?
The Zeratul is pretty good versus the Li Ming, but I don't know if should be known as like a counter. Zeratul is just kind of highly contested in general.
Right.
And with the teleport build, Li Mings do not struggle too much versus a Zeratul.
Yeah, especially
when you
come
get
16 and Diamond Skin and the Illusionist and all that stuff. They can actually punish Zeratools pretty hard.
Yeah.
With it if the Zeratul isn't smart with his Wormhole or Vorpal Blade or whatever build they go with. So Tuark, their next choice on here. We saw last match a Sonya Uther on the other side of the field that didn't work out too well. Won't be surprised if maybe that's something they want to go with here. Obviously, Cursed Hollow is a little bit of a larger map. Not the biggest map, but definitely one of the bigger ones in the pool. Going to go with the War Chief right here. Are they going to secure their frontline warrior? Are they going to be looking for maybe another ranged assassin? They have a lot of options available here for them.
We'll see. It's Cursed Hollow. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Falstad picked up over the Thrall. I feel like if you go Falstad Thrall Li Ming right now, it shows too much of your composition. Allows Hot Dog Burglars to completely draft around it. The Thrall pickup is nice here. I think they kind of need to go Falstad too, though. I mean, Falstad is just so good on this map. It's really hard to let them through to the mid-tier bands and potentially let Hot Dog Burglars get them just because of how powerful both Void Prison and Mighty Gust will be on this map. So if they do end up going with Murden, which it looks like that will be the case, I really feel they need to ban out the Falstad.
See, Uther is going to be the ban here from the Hot Dog Burglars. Hide your hot dogs, everyone. And Tuark are going to ban out the Abathur. Obviously, Abathur, this is one of his maps we see play on, and he can just be pretty frustrating to deal with. Especially he's received some changes, though despite those pretty much, I think, what could be known as nerfs to his mines, a lot of teams just outright don't want to deal with him.
Based off these bans, I have a feeling like Tuark might play against Hot Dog Burglars a lot. This seems very targeted at Illidan-type playstyles with the Rhaegar picked up, with Tass and Abathur both getting banned out. Maybe they're used to, some double, in scrims or something, some double melee assassin shenanigans with Illidan, Zeratul, and whatnot. So pretty interesting bans coming from Tuark. Hot Dog Burglars has a lot on their table. You see the value of Stitches constantly on this map. Tyrell's very interesting.
They're eyeing it. They haven't locked it in yet. It seems like we've seen those melee heavy compositions recently coming out for all over the place. Just heavy frontline melee with like a bruiser and two bruisers and Zeratul or Thrall or things like that. It is going to be the Johanna once again. So prioritizing that Johanna over the ETC. Obviously, Tuark has pretty reliable stuns for Mosh Pit. Obviously, Murden, Sundering from Thrall, so on and so forth right there. So putting more emphasis on the Johanna, which is what we saw last match. And right now, they could pick themselves up. There's Lunara. There's a whole bunch of Falstad, again, is still on the field. There's lots of options that Hot Dog Burglars can go for. It just comes down to their preference.
Yeah, Vala is also pretty good on this map. It's stalling out tributes, contesting bosses, and there they are. They do go with the Vala.
There it is. You called it. The foresight right there, showing out Vala despite the fact. I mean, what build are we going to see here out of Vala? Is it still going to be a multi-shot build, or is it going to be a puncture and arrow? I mean, what you have a finger on the pulse of kind of the meta when it comes to these sort of things. Have we seen any changes with Vala recently in the meta with the changes to her talents?
We have. I mean, in Korea, we did see the auto attack build, but today in Enter the Storm, K1 Pro still went with the old multi-shot build. I think the auto attack build can have a place, but against a composition like Li Ming, Thrall, Murden so far, just even those three heroes, if Vala goes auto attack build, she's going to be way too close to these heroes, and she can get punished really hard. In Hero League, I see I get a lot of success with the auto attack build. I can top damage frequently, but just because I don't get punished. That's what one of the weaknesses of Vala and why she's rotated out of the meta a few times is she is very punishable, and especially if you're going auto attack build. But with there being a Murden alone just with reverberation, more
Yeah.
than likely will be multi shot build. Siphoning arrow build, not. I mean, it can be good at 1v1ing the Li Ming when you
Yeah.
go the Hungering arrow build, but more than likely will be multi shot,
So we see the
or
Brightwing.
should be multi shot rather.
Yeah, we see the Brightwing being picked up here. Falstad is still available. That 2-Arc can go with sort of this hyper-mobile composition that definitely plays well on this Battleground of Cursed Hollow. Again, it's a larger map, and the objective can go all over the map. Don't know if that's going to be the case, though. Actually, eyeing the Stitches. I wouldn't mind that. Stitches has some decent hook targets. I think, obviously, Vala. Zeratul maybe depends on if he has Blinker up. Rhaegar can be. They do have the follow up with Murden as well, and it is. It's going to be the terror of Ashwood coming here on the field.
Yeah, it's
Or
interesting.
Duskwood, rather. Sorry, Duskwood. I almost blew my WoW lore. I'm sorry, Duskwood.
I mean, I think the falsehood has to be picked up here for Hot Dog Burglars. There's just so much engaged, so much way to force a fight here for 2-Arc with Sundering, with hooks, with the aggression of Murd and Brightwing just teleporting in and stunning into polymorphs. I think Falstad's almost a necessity here. Mighty Gust just to keep yourself alive. So, looking at these two compositions, I have to say on paper, I like Hot Dog Burglars a lot more.
Yeah,
They've got
I
three
agree.
great damage dealers. Rhaegar's still a fantastic support. Joanna is going to be great versus this composition if Iron Skin is used properly. A lot of warriors tend to kind of pop Iron Skin just a bit too early and get blown up. But actually, it might be Sonya. And I like this a lot less, significantly less.
you you had me fooled. I was going to say I like this a lot less. Yeah, I mean, obviously we mentioned how Sony is a very strong hero, especially in that late game. But this is a very heavy frontline melee composition available here. And I mean, obviously, fighting having that sort of composition against a Brightwing always seems like a double-edged sword. Obviously, Polymorph is very, very good not only against the Sony but as well as the Zeratul as well. It's yeah. I wonder what the thinking was here, picking up that Sonya over the Falstad. We're going to see here. Just got that invite into the lobby though. So Brightwing in a solo support position here. Obviously, one of her weaknesses, Jared, is that her healing isn't as sustainable as say like the more traditional Rhaegar, Kerosene Uther, and whatnot. I think that's maybe something Hot Dog Burglars is going to try to punish here.
Yeah, it's there's a lot less healing, especially for the double warrior. It's a very difficult struggle for Brightwing to keep up two warriors in the front line. So if the poke from Hot Dog Burglars between Vala and Zeratul is on point, this could be a struggle. They do have that global presence on a big map like Cursed Hollow, so that's a great thing for Brightwing. And they're not going up against any super hard CC. One of the weaknesses of Brightwing is you can't go cleanse on Brightwing. You have to go the shield talent, or she is just useless. If you need cleanse, you should play any other support. So luckily, they don't need cleanse. They can utilize Brightwing's full kit to the maximum of her ability, but it will be hard for her to keep up the front line. All these fights are going to be decided on either winning off a hard initiation with Sundering or winning with a hook, and you just snowball it in that favor. The Polymorph allows you to secure kills easier.
All right, guys, we're in the lobby. I just let these teams know that we are good to go here. So again, best of one on Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow is the only battleground that has two different bosses on it, and that's pretty much the big win condition that we see on this battleground quite frequently is the contention over those bosses. And if you're able ever to get yourself, usually around those mid-game talents, once they come online is when we start seeing teams take these bosses, level 10, level 13. And if teams are very cognizant of the moments when teams are either going aggressive to pick up a boss or picking their own boss up, it's certainly sort of a cat and mouse game sometimes around that big contention point on the map, as well as the tributes as well. But we're getting into the match here on Cursed Hollow between 2-Arc and Team Hot Dog Burglars.
Hot Dog Burglars players that I think a lot of people recognize, Boss Floss, Mad Timmy, former Murloc Unisys and Symbiote Gaming. Boss Floss has been one of the better warrior players. Has been around for quite a while. Yoda, Trader, Howden, and I think Trader was actually formerly of 2-Arc, a former teammate of LZ Gamer. So, these are all names that are, been around for a while, and, they found themselves on the same team. So it's pretty cool.
Into the match we go. On the left side of your map is going to be the last team that we saw, 2-Arc, who had a fairly one-sided match up against RFS, taking that momentum, carrying it into the next part of the bracket here. LZ Gamer is going to be in that warrior position, playing the Murden. We see Legend on the Li Ming, Sunshine on Stitches, Frustrated on the Brightwing, which transitions well into this guy's name. I don't even know how to say it. How do you say it, Zoya, on the Thrall?
Sequoc.
Sequoc. Okay, thank
That's
you.
what I've been saying. I don't know if it's right, but that's what I'm saying.
All right, we'll be on the same page. Sequoc on the Thrall.
And on the right-hand side of the map in the red trunks, it's going to be Hot Dog Burglars, Yodo on Zeratul, Hao Nguyen on Sonya, Boss Floss on the Joanna, Trader playing Vala, and of course Mad Timmy playing Rhaegar. And if people don't understand the name here, Hot Dog Burglars, a lot of people refer to Hot Slogs, the MMR website,
Yes.
as hot dogs, and we often hear people say, "I'm here to steal your hot dogs. I'm here to steal your MMR," and they are the Hot Dog Burglars.
So I think really one of the first, the most popular Heroes of the Storm specific meme that we've had to date is certainly that, and they are playing into that so far. Level 1 talented is going to be that multi-shot build coming out here from Traders Vala. You pretty much called it right there. Again, the emphasis for Mad Timmy, who has been one of the better support players. Obviously, he's been on. Who was he on? He was on Resurgence. He was with EG, or not with EG. He was obviously
Symbiote
on
Gaming.
Symbiote. Yeah, he's been on a lot
Murloc
of major
Geniuses.
teams. Murloc
Yeah.
Geniuses. That's what I was looking for. Not Evil Geniuses. The other genius. So yeah, this certainly is a full of veterans of the scene, and I'm excited to see what these guys do right here. Stitches though, he's going to go with more of that chew your food build, and it looks like it is going to be that teleport build coming out from Legends Lee Ming.
Yeah, and no surprise there. I mean, the Zeratul
Yeah.
and Sonya going to be looking to crush Lee Ming every fight. LZ Gamer struggling here to deal with this push into mid lane. Boss Floss and Yoda already almost got a tower down, and even with LZ Gamer just wailing on them, they're still able to get that ammo completely drained and have done some serious push in the mid lane. I like this so far from the Hot Dog Burglars.
Yeah, interesting decision to put it into the mid lane. Usually we see maybe the lateral lanes is where we see a lot of the contention, but mid lane is where it's going to be right there. I think I don't really knew that they were expecting to get that much damage onto the tower, to be perfectly honest, but they're obviously going to be happy with it. Down in the bottom lane though, we see Orc. The Orc brothers are going to be duking it out to see who's the better green skin right there. Up in top lane though, we do see 2Arc putting a lot of work in the top lane here. Already got one tower and are eyeing to get the next one right there.
Yeah, this is really interesting lane split coming up from Hot Dog Burglars. The 2-2-1 split's not something you see very often. It's going to be the tri-lane 1-1, of course, coming out for 2Arc here. But it's definitely interesting. And you pointed out, most people don't tend to push mid lane. That's because of the bosses on this map. You can get yourself a significant advantage in one of the lanes the boss is pushing down that. When later on you cap that, makes it so much more value. And that's why you don't normally see those pushing in the mid lanes as well. It's very easy to collapse upon the mid lane. If Yoda and Joanna were overextended too far in mid, it's a very easy rotation for 2Arc to go and punish that. So it's definitely a very weird lane setup here from Hot Dog Burglars.
First tribute of the match, spawning up here to the top lane. We already see 2Arc already just in a good position right there. Stitches, Brightwing, Murden, and Lee Ming all in the top part of the map. Thrall's going to be a little bit late to the party, but right now I think 2Arc is just going to be looking to go for this. LZ Gamer already starting to channel it. Boss Floss here is quick on his heels to pick it up. Thrall's got to be careful. He actually might get caught in this this rotation. I think he will be, but oh man, he mans up against Yoda. Yoda going back in here. Almost get to take down onto Yoda, but yeah, Thrall gets caught out on the rotate. And I think that was pretty unfortunate right there for 2Arc.
2Arc still looking to contest this, though. They got a lot of poke here with Brightwing and Lee Ming, so they can keep stalling this out. Mad Timmy very low on mana, so he can only keep up the heals for a little bit longer, where all of Brightwing's heals right now, they're not mana determined. She just kind of stands there, and her passive heals people up. So Hook does end up missing with Boss Floss. That was a nice polymorph Hook attempt there. If that would have connected, they might have been able to kill Joanna here, but now with Frustrated trying to go for the cap. I don't know if Trader can get one more interrupt. Yeah, he wasn't able to get it, and that's going to be the first tribute going over to 2Arc, despite it being 4 versus 5.
Yeah, they might get collapsed on. They're trying to punish this. You can tell they're going hard on the Sunshine. They're trying to put the light out on the man. They're going to be able to take him out, despite that amplified healing picked up at level 4. So they get the takedown on 2 Stitches, but nonetheless, they're down that tribute. So they're going to have to maybe put into an awkward position come the next couple of tributes already. But a small experience advantage for the Hot Dog Burglars, but nothing that's insurmountable by any means here for 2-Arc.
Very interesting talent pickup from Trader here, going Manticore at level 4 over the Grenade build. Grenades are like one of the most powerful talents in the multi-shot build. It's great wave clear, it's a little bit of extra poke, a little bit of extra damage, and it's very interesting to see Manticore picked up in its stead. This is the first time I've ever seen a build this way. It's going to be searing attacks at 7, which even with the multi-shot build has always been a staple. Just the extra burst you can get. So it's going to be cool to see how this interesting hybrid build is mixing up.
Trace got to be careful, actually. Frustrated he's going to get rotated on. Hao Nguyen's going to go up there, try to get the takedown on him. Not going to be able to. Very close exchange right there up in the top lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we see Mad Timmy and Yoda doing a lot of work. Those Siege Ogres actually have been pushing this entire time. They've did a lot of work thus far. Not only to get the towers, but they're now starting to siege the fort as well. Thrall's going to have to stay back a little bit longer than he wants to. to clean this wave up, and this is going to open up a lot of room for Hot Dog Burglars to get this tribute, and I think they should be able to get this almost completely uncontested.
Yeah, they're rotating down. Yoda goes for the cap, but the hook does end up connecting here, but now Stitch is in a very bad spot. Li Ming trying to peel for him with whatever damage he can throw out. Murden comes in as well, but Iron Skin has been used, and that's going to be the death of Sunshine.
Yep, gets taken out. Sunshine was trying to prevent, I feel like, the inevitable. I think the right call there probably was just to, you know what, give up the tribute. Let's just put some more, maybe put more pressure in the top lane. Don't worry about it. Let's get, continue to build our, maybe make up for the disadvantage that we're at. But instead, they gave up a takedown, they gave up a tribute, and they're still down about a half a level. But they got to be careful. Come around level 10. If this next tribute spawns around level 10 and they don't have it themselves, it's very, very rough waters to be in. LZ Gamer misses the stun on a trader in the top lane, but that's okay. He's just going to continue to sit there and wave clear.
Bottom lane's getting shoved in pretty hard here by Mad Timmy. That fort's already at half HP, and with the Giants being taken again by Hal Nguyen and Yoda, this is starting to look pretty scary here for 2Ark, as they're just taking so much siege damage on this map. And this is, again, a lane where the boss pushes down. If they ever secure that bottom left boss, that's basically not even going to have to go through the fort. It's going to only do keep damage, and that's pretty big here for Hot Dog Burglars. They're just about to hit level 10 as the third tribute spawning. Not going to be a curse for either team, but this should be guaranteed a curse here for Hot Dog Burglars. They can't. The 2Ark can't contest those at all. They're not even going to try.
Yeah, exactly. LZ Gamer, you can tell that they recognize that. LZ Gamer is just sticking to the top lane, just trying to soak experience as you can. Maybe put a little bit of pressure into the fort here. Obviously, Murden isn't the best sieger by any means, but they're keeping everyone in the lanes they need to soak, making sure they don't give up any takedowns. And as I say that, Legend's in trouble. Brightwing's TPing in here. I don't know if Brightwing wants to TP in and maybe sacrifice herself for it. Hook's not going to land. Legend is actually going to stay alive. That's incredible. I was not expecting that at all. I thought Li Ming was dead to rights right there, Jared.
Shows you the power of that level 7 talent on Brightwing. The shield is huge. Just so much extra damage absorption. Without even having Blink Kill, she was able to keep that Li Ming alive. There were a few missed autos, and I believe Singularity Spike missed there from Yoda at the end. That probably would have helped secure that kill, but still, really great heads-up play coming out from Frustrated to keep him alive. And now Sunshine with the early Putrid Bile Pop, taking a lot of damage. Hook goes out, does not end up connecting with anyone. It's 4 versus 4, so both teams willing to let this kind of just go separate ways.
All the meanwhile, mid lane was under a lot of siege. Boss Floss is actually able to get the first score of the match in the mid lane. Not the biggest deal in the world when it comes to map control, but certainly continuing to keep that experience advantage that they have built up thus far. And this tribute right here, it is going to net a curse for Hot Dog Burglars, and the position of it is such that Hot Dog Burglars already have themselves in a really good position. 2Ark's all clumped up, a huge 4-man Void Prison. The follow-up isn't there. They're getting around it. They're looking to go in there. Rain of Vengeance picked up here. Wow, look at that go down. The Wombo combo is right there from Brightwing TP's in.
Lots of heals go down. How do we get hit with an Ancestral kind of early there, but it keeps him alive nonetheless. Now it's a 5 versus 4. Brightwing being the only death in this fight. Boss Floss looking for the dismount on the Saquok, but does not end up getting it. So it looks like all 2Ark should be able to get behind their wall in time. But we'll see what Hot Dog Burglars want to do with this window of time where they have an advantage. And looks like they're actually collapsing onto Sunshine here through their fort. He's just going to rotate down through the mid the safest possible way, ironically. But really surprised to see no boss attempt just yet. They're going to go ahead and guarantee themselves that last fort of 2Ark. And now 2Ark's in a really scary position. With no forts on the map, it's very, very scary to just kind of move out and try and take camps and stuff, especially versus a Zeratul.
And now they're falling back to their boss, and this boss is going to have, we've been talking about it all game, how the bosses are really, come level 13, around those level 13 talents, is when they start becoming a huge point of contention. And with this boss having a free avenue to those tier 2 structures, knocking on the door of 2Ark, as well as potentially threatening to keep if they don't respond here. They are going to have to respond to this, because we are in a situation where they're trading bosses, but in the situation where one boss has a bigger threat than the other, this is just pretty much gives that team who has the more threatening boss the ability to dictate the flow of the match and continue to retain that match control.
Good calls coming up from 2Ark to take that bottom boss. It was a bit greedy to do it with only 3 members instead of 4, but with knowing that Void Prison was down, it was a very easy to take there. So they were able to get it. It's going to be cleaned up almost instantly. Doesn't even look like it's going to get the front down here for Hot Dog Burglars. But the boss in the top lane, about the same situation actually, but this is hitting a keep instead. I love this. Again, good shot calling from Hot Dog Burglars. This Night Invade is so smart.
Yep. And they're actually getting really aggressive here going on to the Bruisers. Obviously, they see everyone at 2Ark showing on the top lane, so they immediately, without hesitation, get this Bruiser camp. not the most threatening thing in the world, more of a denial than anything else. It'll just, again, continue to force the hand and dictate the flow of the match, and that's exactly what Hot Dog Burglars is doing. Now they can fall back to their camps, their Bruiser camp, their Sea Joker camp, continue to keep these lanes pushed in. Level 13 is here for both of these teams, but if they can continue just to constrict 2ARC on their side of the field, it's really they're really playing this mid game very, very well thus far.
Now, 2ARC got caught off guard last fight by that Rain of Vengeance, but I don't think that's going to happen again. They're aware that's been picked up. They're aware of the Void Prison setup into the Rain of Vengeance, so they should be playing around that again. And, you know, they're on even footing. Like you said, Experience, despite the losses, is dead even here, really utilizing that Brightwing. So as long as they're mindful of those team fights, despite, you know, what seems like a losing game so far for 2ARC, they're still very much in this and can very easily, you know, turn this around.
That's exactly what we're seeing. Hook, really, I feel like Stitches, as far as the hook goes on Stitches, has been pretty much not impactful at all. There really hasn't been any big hooks and huge priority targets. I mean, not to say that there is a lot of priority targets. Zeratul can blink. Vala is probably the most ideal one. Now that Sonya has that escape mechanism with level 13 talent, she can just hook away as well. This Tribute right here isn't going to net a curse for anyone, but Boss Blast, he's just going to get taken out here. He just overstays his bulk and gets annihilated.
Sequoc not needing to use Sundering there, though. Wanted to try and secure the kill, but definitely way too late there. So that's Sundering down for 75 more seconds here. Again, like you said, this isn't, you know, a pivotal curse or tribute there, but you know, it's one more closer to that curse. You know, the next one they get, and that's going to put Hot Dog Burglars in a scary spot. And, you know, they know they've got some good map pressure out right now, and that's what they're wanting to keep in here. That's why you're seeing the 3 lanes split up. So they're just trying to keep the minion waves as close to 2ARC space as they possibly can.
Yeah. That's exactly what they've been doing this whole time, despite the fact that 2ARC has that global mobility of the Brightwing, and they still just can't seem to find themselves an opportunity to just get out on this map, despite the fact that they have this experience advantage. But on the shoulders of this small experience advantage, if they're able to pick up a curse here, not only a curse, but maybe a advantageous team fight, they could bust this game wide open, hit level 16 ahead of time on the back of it, because, I mean, they still have all these structures to go through, all these forts, all these towers on the back of a team fight as well. That could really put 2ARC in prime position going into these level 16, level 20 talents. But it all comes down to execution. Can they get this team fight? Can they get the curse? And we're going to see here in just a moment. Brightwing's TPing in. Yoda's looking for a Void Prison. You can tell he's on the side here.
Up, Hook comes out, catches Trader, takes a lot of damage. Essential has been used very, very early here, but there is the Rain of Vengeance doing a lot of damage, and Sunshine going to be the first to fall in this fight. Nice flanks from Yoda as he goes on to Legend, but a good turnaround, and Trader so very low. Can they get hit with one more chain heal? And there it is. That's the death of Thrall. They're trying to turn this around. LZ Gamer will take out Vala. Legend blinks over the wall. They're going for the chase. Nice blink here from Frustrated to reposition himself, and the resets are proving wonders here.
Man.
Polymorph goes down onto Mad Timmy. Does Legend have more mana? And they do secure the kill, but it's now a 2 versus 2. Hounduin getting very low. Legend has no mana. Yoda's still very healthy. They get the kill onto Sonya. Can Yoda take down the rest of them? He gets Brightwing. Does Legend have enough to get the kill? He's so He wormholes back in. The Void Prism goes down. He hits the B step. Oh no! And Legend's gonna die. Wow.
That was that is as close of a team fight as you can get. Holy cow, Zoya! Take a breather right there, my man. Yoda with the plays and a little bit of the salt on top as well. Getting the lone survivor of that exchange. They deny the curse from 2ARC. They make up for that experience advantage. Now find themselves a little bit ahead. Nothing to write home about or anything like that. But wow, that was such a back and forth team fight. That was incredible.
Yeah, you have to be mindful that you're playing versus Li Ming.
Yeah.
Winning the fight, they were doing a good job of that, but all it takes is one death, and Li Ming can turn around the fight completely, especially when going the teleport build with dominance. Extra healing, you know, we saw that the only reason that they didn't win the fight was because Li Ming ran out of mana, but they were only able to turn around because of the fact that Li Ming has those resets. That You know, if there was any other hero in that situation, that would have been a very one-sided fight in favor of Hot Dog Burglars, but the Li Ming, you know, you have to play around it.
Yeah, you really do. We see both bosses are now in the field. Oh, Brightwing is getting turned on here. She's going to have to TP out or just give herself up. Blink healing away. Frustrated, trying to utilize that Pixie Dust. Yoda's there to find it out, to get out. And I think Frustrated, yeah, Brightwing is just going to be sent back to the Nexus. And what a terrible timing for the Brightwing to be taken out of the field here. 2ARC doesn't have their healer support. And this is going to give Hot Dog Burglars a lot of room to do pretty much anything they want. They can get themselves a boss. They can get themselves a tribute. They can do any sort of combination for the better part of 30 seconds right here.
Well, this is going to be a curse here for 2-Arc. They're wanting it bad. They're in position to contest this. Still no Brightwing, though, and I think they kind of have to give it up. With Hot Dog Burglars not getting a curse from this. It's just way too greedy. The Unstoppable has been used. Iron Skin popped very, very early here. Li Ming trying to get as much damage as they can, but now Sunshine's in a bad spot. They clumped up for the Rain of Vengeance. Sunshine comes out to try and disengage. BP goes down the backline, but doesn't end up hitting anyone. Stitches is the first to fall in this fight. They get the turnaround kill on the Zeratul. Legend doing what he can with the resets. Boss loss still hasn't gone down, but they're starting to get those resets we're talking about there. A lot of damage going on the Mad Timmy. He's barely going to get out of there. And now How No Win taking a lot of damage. Going to be turned around on. Polymorph goes down, but the Stormbolt from LZ Gamer misses.
How No Win is going to be able to get out of there with that spear, though LZ Gamer says no to that. Jumps in front of him, body blocks him up. Down goes Sonya. And man, the Li Ming is such a presence in these team fights. Absolutely incredible. That teleport build, that's its big strength right there, man. You talked about it the last team fight, and this team fight right here has just been so pivotal in securing themselves these, taking what might have been an even exchange and then just turning it around. And now with this curse, this is going to give 2-Arc a great opportunity to get what they sorely need, and that's some map control. Finally get some structures down, open up the map a little bit more, and actually have room on the map to capitalize on the advantage that they have built up here.
Yeah, they struggled in the early game, but their composition's working well late game with these team fights. I mean, Hollow Burglars really isn't approaching them in the right way, and this is going to be a really easy boss here for 2-Arc. Sonya's up for 3 seconds. Will it go scouted, actually? Doesn't look like they're going to head down to it, so...
Yeah.
Should be a pretty free boss here for 2-Arc here, and they have the time. They have the time frame where they can contest this. Zeratul doesn't have VP up. They can start rotating early if they want to. Brightwing did end up teleporting in. I think that's a bit interesting. Should have. She was at the top of the map. I think she should have been the first to scout this out.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to get there in time. So no, it will be a boss trade again.
And in this trading situation, again, it's going to... Hot Dog Burglars boss has a little bit more of a path of least resistance, if you will, in that top lane to the inner structures, as opposed to we see 2-Arcs is just now taking down these structures, even with the curse. It's still a longer road for 2-Arcs boss. We see a hook onto Sonya. Polymorph is up there. The damage isn't really there. Not much follow-up. The hook just, again, not really being impactful here, but 2-Arc, they're right on the heels of these level 20 Storm tier talents. And that's going to be huge for them, man. They have themselves an advantage here, Zoya, but I feel like they haven't been able to capitalize on it quite yet. They've been winning these. They won the last team fight. They got themselves a curse. They got themselves a boss. But even with all that, they still are kind of in this defensive posture on the map.
Yeah, it's kind of just highlighting not the best knowledge of how to play these games when you're or this map and in this kind of situation. We're not seeing them go for these punishing trades. You have to realize, especially with a Brightwing, they're never leaving Brightwing to solo defend. What would have happened if they left maybe just 1 or 2 people back and they pressured other lanes? This is a very yes, they have the experience lead, but they almost no value out of that cursed boss play.
So level 20 is going to be picked up here by 2-Arc. Hot Dog Burglars aren't too far away from it, despite the fact that they have 4 more takedowns than their opponents and a structural advantage. That Brightwing factor really coming into play here. Rhaegar actually gets taken out. We saw that 2-Arc actually made a rotation over here, aggressively invading Hot Dog Burglars Bruisers. That was a little bit of a tongue twister right there. Are able to pick that up, and that's they really need that. And finally, they find themselves on the other side of the field in enemy territory, and I feel like they're finally going to be able to get some work done here. It's Yoda and Sonya kind of hanging out down in the bottom lane, but 2-Arc maybe trying to push these inner structures. They're going to fall back, maybe collapse onto Hao Nguyen. Looks like they're being a little bit indecisive here.
Take a look at these Storm talents. I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary so far. It's going to be Rewind on Zeratul, so he's going to have a little bit more extra burst for that Brightwing or that Li Ming, whoever he goes on to. So have to keep in mind for that. It's going to be both the Storm on Vala. Not going to be seeing Nexus Frenzy. Sometimes we do see Vala's picking that up right now. Everything else looking pretty normal to me so far.
So 2-Arc, they got themselves a takedown on the Rhaegar, they got themselves the Bruiser Camp, and they continue to find themselves in a position where they just aren't comfortable pushing down any inner structures. They had maybe a opportunity to push down the mid lane, opportunity to go down to their boss lane, the bottom lane, and put some pressure on the structures there. But the time has now passed. Rhaegar's back on the field, and Cetri Healing now back on the field. And this tribute right here, not going to be very important. Neither of these teams are going to be getting a curse from it, but still both of these guys are lining up right here to look for a team fight. And what I'm really looking for is Sunshine to be a little bit more impactful here on the Stitches. I feel like he hasn't been that. He needs to land a good hook. The follow-up there, that's the hook they're looking for on a Trader. He does vault away. The Sundering is there as well. Trader's in a lot of trouble. We saw the Arcane Orb going in there. Yoda blinks in, blinks out, trying to get him out. Finally, Ancestral Healing gets forced out. Rain of Vengeance is there. There's the Void Prison onto 2. Boss Blast, he uses the Contempt, but he's in a lot of trouble. The shield is there, just going to be delaying the inevitable right now. They're all clumped up right now. The heavy melee-centric composition of Hot Dog Burglars is that's one of the disadvantages of it. Oh man, that Disintegrate. They do get the takedown onto Rhaegar. The turnaround, the rewind on to the two of them. And Li Ming again. Once they get that momentum of those takedowns, it's just they just start falling one after another.
It's all about the resets. That's what you hear a lot from teams. When you're listening to their comms, is that once Li Ming gets a kill, it's just resets.
Yeah.
Just get it one more, and it's very easily snowballs a team fight. That was very close, very back and forth that entire time, and all it took was that one takedown, and suddenly, it's just over. Legend's able to end the game. It's 30 seconds on Rhaegar, Joanna, and Sonya. It is Zeratul and Vala up, but with them knowing that Void Prison is down, this could be a very easy win here for Tuark. They're going for the core, and I don't think Trader and Yoda can stop this.
Yeah, no Void Prison, nothing like that. I mean, even if Strafe was there, Rain of Vengeance available, not sure that they could do it. Yoda actually might be going down himself. That snare on the Disintegrate, so hard to deal with come level 20. And Tuark, despite the fact that they were in a very defensive position a majority of this match, a defensive position not behind an experience per se, but always having to get back to their base, clean up waves. The waves are always pushed in, but utilizing that global mobility of their Brightwing, they're able to make up for what initially was an experience deficit, turn that into an advantage, and just with that one fight right there, the Li Ming was such a huge factor in that, they're able to take this and move themselves on.
Yeah, it's a really good job there from Tuark. They played the late game perfectly. It was. I want to go back to the draft. I feel like they should have gone Falstad over the Sonya. Sonya did a lot of damage that game, but mixing with Yoda and Vala, they just weren't able to secure some of those kills on the backline. You need someone else who could either isolate or help get to those backlines. Every time Sonya tried running through, I mean, it's just they had the perfect draft for versus Sonya. The Brightwing shuts that down so hard. The Murden shuts that down so hard. The survivability with the teleport build from Li Ming, just really good versus the Sonya. And I felt despite how much damage Sonya was able to do, it was just it didn't really matter.
So congratulations to Tuark. Again, they're going to continue to move on through the bracket, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Divergent Amateur Open Series, and we're going to take a small break here, set up the next match. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't done so already. And if you have, thank you so much for the support. All right, guys, stay tuned, and we'll be back here in just a moment.